From the shotgun, here's an inside give. It's a 1-yard gain. 2nd and 9 coming up. Obvious false start there, moving too early.
False start. Offense.
And the head coach will decide to accept the penalty and take the yardage. Out of the shotgun, he'll hand it off. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. Offense breaks the huddle and gets set. It's 3rd down. Here's the snap. Quarterback drops back. Makes a quick catch. Defense stops him short of the marker. So now it's 4th down. The Pirates will line up to boot it away. He's on looking for a solid punt here. And the returner decides to signal fair catch. 1st down here for this offense. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. He's moving out of the pocket. On the move, but can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
And just like that, you squeeze the life out of this offense. That's another sack by this defense. They have been in that backfield the entire game, and a big reason why these guys are enjoying a lead.
He went backwards on 1st down, so 2nd and long from the 24. Takes the handoff on the counter play. Try to run it up the middle, but get nothing. 3rd down. The offense desperately needs a conversion here, trailing in the 3rd quarter. And the quarterback dropping back. And he's going to float this one to the right side. That one falls incomplete. They tried to press it deep, but now it brings up 4th down. And the Tigers will have to punt this one away. On to kick now for the 5th time today. The coverage team makes the stop on this return. So the East Carolina offense back on the field now. Trying to build on their lead. They were forced to punt on the last possession. Shotgun formation. Here's an inside give. They keep feeding the running back, but he's had nowhere to go tonight. They've been dominant at the line of scrimmage. From the pocket, delivers over the middle. And the defense swarms, not much of a gain on that completion. So it's 3rd and long from the 29. Defense figures to bring pressure here. And he's brought down. Offense going backwards with the sack. And they bring the excellent outside linebacker off the edge, Kirk, for the sack that time.
Yeah, he's got great length and great speed. And a blitz like this, you just overwhelm the offensive line. They bring one more than they can handle up front. You can't account for everybody. The quarterback, all he could do is eat it.
The Pirates will send the punt team onto the field. And the return man decides to signal fair catch. And the powerful Clemson offense is back out there. They're coming off a quick 3-and-out. So looking to put something together on this drive with a little more urgency. Goes to the sideline, steps out after a short gain. 2nd down after that completion. Fakes the handoff, looking to throw. Trying to create outside the pocket now. He'll avoid the big hit with the slide. An important 3rd down attempt for this offense. Drops back from the shotgun, looking for an open man. Easy throw to a wide open receiver downfield. Breaks into the clear right down the middle. End zone ahead. Takes it all the way to the house. Touchdown, Clemson. That's a crucial response by this offense, but still plenty of work to do here in the 3rd quarter.
Well, I love that they're still fighting and competing. You can tell they've made some adjustments at half and try to get them back into this game. And that score is a great start.
Now the try here for the extra point. PAT up and good. They get a little bit closer. Getting set to kick the ball off now. He's going to bring this out a few yards deep in the end zone. And it'll be tackled right at the 20. That's a good job by the coverage team. This line getting set up. It's a 1st down play. Looking out throwing here to start the drive. Here's a screen pass to the running back. Defense makes the tackle, but that screen produces a pretty solid gain. Pass caught, second down now. It's a quarterback keeper. They'll stop him behind the line for a loss of 1. Offense looking to convert on 3rd and short from the 27. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. Looks downfield and connects with a wide-open wide receiver. Rips off a big gain all the way to the plus 43-yard line.
Boy, this offensive line, you got to tip your cap. They've done everything you would ask of them in taking care of this quarterback. They do it again here on 3rd down, working with that lead. You know the pressure's coming, and they deliver.
Graham behind the line. It's Arnold. And he'll be smothered right at the line for no gain. And the player is down injured after that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check him out. What's the play call here on 2nd down for this offense? And now they'll run it on the draw. They try the middle, but gain nothing on that play. Offense been in reverse here. Now a long way to go to convert this 3rd down. Looking downfield, it's Hauser. And he's got it. Tackle made after a big gain. The Pirates hustle to the line to run the hurry-up. He'll hand it off. Picks up 3 yards, so 2nd and 7. From the shotgun, handoff inside. That's a nice tackle there by the senior. Looks like a player is down injured at that last play. We'll take a timeout while they check it out. So here we go, 3rd down. Defense needs a stop here. Try to force a field goal attempt. Quarterback in the shotgun here on 3rd down. Touchdown, Pirates. This offense cannot be stopped. Conference championship on the line. This quarterback told us, this is my time to shine. This is my stage, Kirk. He is delivering.
Well, anytime you see a performance like this out of a quarterback, it's like the stars are in alignment. The quarterback's doing his job. The play caller is seeing the defense and putting him in a position to have success. And let's not forget the line and the receivers, the job that they're doing as well. It's a dream performance so far by this quarterback.
So they'll try to add to the lead now with the PAT. The extra point is good, and they stretch the lead a little bit more. Here's the kickoff team now, set to boot this one away. Fields it just outside the goal line. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. Okay, the Clemson offense heads back out onto the field. Great possession last time. They punched it into the end zone. Can the defense come up with a stop this time? And he just throws it away there. Safe move. Had nobody open. 2nd down after the incompletion. There's some pre-snap movement. Back in motion. Grab down the middle. It's Brown. Crucial 8-yard gain sets up a makeable 3rd and 2. Can he make it to the marker? Stopped right there at the line. No gain. The Tigers will line up to punt it away. Forced to kick it away for the 6th time. And the returner brought down by the coverage team. Offense comes up to the line. They might have a chance for a couple more plays before the quarter expires. On 1st and 10, they'll look to throw it. And the ball is picked off. Look out, he's got some space. Takes the pick to the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. And the interception taken to the house. A pick-6 potential game-changing play there.
Man, nothing gets a defense, and especially a defensive coordinator, more fired up than a pick-6. And let's not forget, give credit to some of those other defenders for making some key blocks to spring that touchdown loose.
Here's the point after attempt. efficiency is good. They still trail. The kickoff team on the field now as they get set to send this one away. Return starts from inside the 5. And the tackle is made as time runs out in the third quarter. Kirk, it's East Carolina with the lead here. We've reached the end of 3. Time is running out to cut into the lead. Let's take a look at the game sets before we move on. One quarter to go. Let's see if this sets up as a classic finish. East Carolina's offense heads back out onto the field now. It'll be interesting to see if this quarterback could bounce back. He threw a pick 6 in the last one. Got him for a sack. A big play made them one of the senior leaders of this defense.
A really good job by this defense. The quarterback looked to be trying to work through his progressions to find his open receiver, but before he knew it, he's on his back.
First down loss sets up 2nd and long from the 11. Looking to pass. It's Hauser. He's going for a big play downfield. The catch is made for a huge pickup. Oh, and nothing but green grass ahead. Touchdown, East Carolina. No chance to catch him.
And that's his 2nd touchdown today. This guy's winning every one-on-one matchup this defense provides. Great job by the quarterback putting the ball where his guy can make a play on it, and he's got 2 on the board.
Now they line up to kick the extra point. An extra point makes the lead 15 here in the final quarter. Kickoff team has come on the field now to send this one away. He's going to bring it out of the end zone from a couple yards deep. And strong coverage there. They tackle him at the 11-yard line. And the powerful Clemson offense is back out there. They're coming off a 3-and-out, looking to produce a positive drive here. Opening play of the drive, he looks right for a completion. Tackled quickly after the catch, he'll be short of the marker. The game makes it 2nd and medium. There's some pre-snap movement in the backfield. Oh, and it's almost picked off. A chance for their first interception today. Going to set up 3rd down. They snap it. Quarterback looking to throw the ball. Incomplete for a 3rd straight play. And the Tigers will have to kick it away. And this will be fair caught at the 35-yard line. And now the first play of this drive. They'll begin at the 36. Looking for a gap. It's Arnold. And he's tackled right at the 40-yard line. Looks like a man is down on the field after the last play, so we'll take a timeout. 2nd down after that previous play. To the air, it's Hauser. Receiver makes the catch. Defense surrounds him. Just a short gain on that completion. So now it's 3rd and short from the 43. Can they keep the drive going or perhaps face a tough 4th down decision? Running back grabs it on a screen. And he's tackled just short of that 1st down marker. Good job by the defense. The Pirates will have to kick this away. And he's on for his 5th punt of the day now. Returner decides to fair catch this. Okay, the Clemson offense heads back out onto the field. Last time was a quick 3-and-out. Can they get a drive going this time? On 1st and 10 here, looking to throw the ball. He pulls in the catch.
Well, it's another positive play, but man, look at the clock and look at the score. You still need a couple touchdowns to be able to get yourself back into this game and have a chance to win it. So you've got to keep moving here and keep taking those shots downfield.
He's tackled short of the 30. That's good enough for a 1st down. A new set of downs after that completion. And there's the handoff. Just a small gain. Looking at 2nd and 9. And the motion by the back now forces the defense to adjust. Lets it go quickly. Makes the catch downfield. He'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. This comes on offense moving quickly down the field. Handoff here from the shotgun. Gain of 2 yards. Now it's 2nd down and 8. Here's the snap. Offense looking to throw the ball. Makes a quick grab. And he's out of bounds after gaining decent yardage. Third down play, looking for a fresh set of downs. Grab behind the line. It's Brown. And that game will pick up a first down and move the football to the 36. The Tigers come to the line to start a fresh set of downs. First down, looking to throw the football. Catch made on the out route. And he'll run out of bounds after picking up a few yards on the play. The completion sets up a 2nd down play. Looking to throw it again. Caught over the middle. It's Brown. They make the stop, but not before a solid gain that time. Clemson now operating in the red zone. And here's the handoff. And he's able to find some room before they finally bring him down. So down here in the red zone, every yard tough to find. Here is a crucial play coming up. And the quarterback drops back looking for an open man. Oh, and it's almost picked off. A chance for their first interception today. Going to set up 3rd down. Looking to pick up the first down through the air. And this time it's complete. Tackle at the 5-yard line. Now it's 1st and goal right there. Quarterback looking to connect with the receiver here. Ball carrier brought down at the 4. Offense in great scoring position here. And the Tigers come to the line in the hurry out. Quarterback looking to pass here on 2nd down. And a sophomore making an impact play. Urgency here in the 4th quarter. They must cut into this lead. It's 3rd down and goal. There's the snap. Looking to throw the ball. Caught. Completion. And the defense smothers him for no gain. The number of field goal here doesn't do much. So on 4th and goal, they're going for the touchdown. Quarterback drops back from the shotgun. Makes the grab in the end zone. Touchdown, Clemson.
Well, they found the matchup here, Chris, on 4th down. A gutsy call, and it pays off. Love this one-on-one matchup. The receiver wins that battle, and the quarterback put it right on the money.
And they'll set up with a PAT. PAT up and good. We get a little bit closer. Kickoff team is on the field to boot this one away. He's going to return it from near the goal line. And he stopped at the 19. Good job by the coverage team. So the East Carolina offense back on the field now. The defense has all 3 timeouts remaining, so they have to run a couple of plays here. And they try the middle, but stuck for no gain. We head now to the 2-minute warning as this offense tries to bleed out the clock and secure this win. They'll work the clock here with the running game. Goes backwards, losing 3 yards there. And now it's the defense that calls timeout here, trying to get organized and preserve as much clock as possible. Trying the old counter play here. 0 running room. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
It was an excellent effort by this defense, just staying in their run fits, holding their own at the line of scrimmage, and then making a tackle. Offense just couldn't get enough of a push to get any yards at all.
And they'll kick it away here. Makes the defender miss. And the returner is tackled by this punt coverage team. So here comes the first play of the drive. They'll begin at the 42. Looking to throw it on first down. And this is going to be caught, and the replay booth has signaled they want to stop and have another look at this one. So after taking a closer look, the officials are going to overturn that previous ruling on the field. Ball is incomplete, broken up by the defender nicely that time. After the incompletion, they'll line up now for 3rd and 5. Here's the snap, looking to throw. It's intercepted, tried to fire it into a tight window. Going the other way, can they catch him? Touchdown, Pirates. And the defense adds 6 with an interception return. And a pick 6, a monster play by this defense here.
That defender showed a lot of athletic ability there with the ball in his hands. I wouldn't be surprised if the head coach watching that thought about maybe giving him some reps as a returner after that touchdown.
And they'll set up now for the extra point try. An extra point makes the lead 15 here in the final quarter. Now they get set to kick it away. He thought about returning it, but instead takes a knee. It'll be a touchback, and they'll start at the 25. First play of the drive, looking to throw the football. Quarterback finds a target on the right. It's complete. Finally, they get him. A great tackle by the cornerback. Not easy with that size difference. Looking to pass here on 2nd down. Grab down the middle. It's Brown. And the game just good enough for a first down. The clock is still running. They got to get set quickly. First down, looking to throw the ball. Deep ball is caught for a huge gain here. They could not stop him. He's in. Touchdown, Tigers.
Chris, they're not quite out of this game just yet. With under 2 minutes to go, they're down by 9. I'd kick the extra point here, make it a one-possession game, and then try to recover that onside kick, and you got a real shot.
Extra point try coming now. PAT is good. They still trail, though. Formation would indicate they're going to try the onside kick here. And the receiving team has to recover. Looks like the hands team did its job. So the job is simple here. Just take a knee, run out the clock, and begin the celebration. Now, it's always a special year and a moment these players will never forget. They can call themselves champions of the ACC. With everything they put into it, now the spotlight will get even brighter. With the playoff spot locked up, we're going to find out how they'll fare against the other best teams in the country. And that is going to wrap it up. We enjoyed this one here. For Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Chris Fowler, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.